What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today guys, on the channel we are going to be doing paint to match accessories because my door handle broke. This is how I have to get in my truck right now. It's not a lot of fun at all. And once upon a time I had paint to match caps on here. One fell off and chipped, so I never got back to putting them back on, but we're changing that today. We're going to fix them and my door handle because it's a pain in the butt. I have everything here set up. We're getting ready. By no means a professional operation going on here. I will insert how to take door handles apart here once I get the factory ones off and get these new ones on. As you can see, these are all prepped already. See, it has a dull look to it here. This is how they came, shiny, ready to paint to match. So you want everything to look like this. Everything's all scuffed up. The very inside part was kind of hard to get. Do the best you can. As for the mirrors here, like I said, these were done once before. I'm going to redo them all. So a little bit different of a process because we're not working right with the plastic, but basically all the clear is off them, and then I Scotch-Brighted them. You do want to use Scotch-Brite on these plastics. You don't want to use like a real aggressive sandpaper. I think I have green Scotch-Brite here. Yeah, green Scotch-Brite, red Scotch-Brite, or I believe the gray is okay as well for this. So that's what I've been using. Has worked well. Now I do just want to show you, I wanted to make sure before I Scotch-Brighted this that I showed you guys what it looked like beforehand, before I made it look like this. So now this is just going to be the white, obviously, for the truck. We're going to color match it all. I'm going to get this last part prepped. We're going to wipe everything down with a degreaser to kind of clear all the oils and stuff off of it. And then we're going to get ready to start laying down. We got adhesion promoter and primer for the first stuff. I'll put a light coat on some spots that there's no paint on these guys, on the mirrors. And then obviously you can see we're... You know, I'm kind of using these boxes to prop them up, then I'm going to set them on something a little taller for me to work on. And also, I forgot about this. Got these guys just to kind of make it a little easier, hopefully help. Whether they're nice or not, I don't know. They were really cheap online. Hopefully they work though. That'd be pretty cool, and if not, oh well, they were cheap, no big deal. So anyway, I'm going to quick finish this up. I'm going to get that last piece Scotch-Brighted, get it wiped, everything wiped down and dried, all the residue off of it. And basically, I have a ladder over in the corner, and in between coats of the door handles, they're going to go on there. And the backing part of the main piece for the handle that like sits the backing plate, I guess, the hardware behind it can hold it up if I set it a certain way, so that it doesn't mess anything up. So anyway guys, I'm gonna get all that stuff done and I'll get back to you when I start painting. Okay, so we have step one. Now that well, not step one, we're on like step three. So everything is prepped, degreased, scuffed, ready to go, and I'm going to show you we have some automotive Dupli-Color adhesion promoter, essential for painting plastics. So you're going to use this. This is paint and primer. You don't need to get a separate primer after this. I've been shaking this up a lot. I think it says for about a minute. I'm definitely well over that. So it's probably going to be easiest for me to show you on one of the handles. So that's what I'm going to show you how I'm doing this on, is a handle. And we're going to go set it on our little fake drying rack. And basically I'm going to do all the handles. I'm going to do a little at a time because you're supposed to move to start doing your main coat shortly after you apply all of this. So anyway, that's all. We're going to get started here. I'm going to show you the starts. I'm not going to do step by step. I'm just going to show you each individual step once, probably just on the handles themselves. They'll probably be the easiest part to show you on, and then move on from there. So here's each of them. This was the first one, second, third, fourth. This one I don't know why is turning so white. Maybe I may have gone a little heavy on that one, but it still looks pretty flat, so I'm not too worried about it. Just kind of an observation that maybe be careful going too heavy on your first coat, and by the last one you really start getting your spray down. You know, these are pretty simple parts, there's not a bunch of curves, but I do typically do the edges first and then the center. On this first one I reversed that because I'm not normally doing it, and I just like to make sure I pay attention to the edges, I'm not ignoring them, and making sure it just looks nice. So we're gonna wait another minute here and then do another coat on them. Okay, here, so we have all of these guys with the adhesion promoter, nice even coats. I don't know what that white stuff was on it. It's probably not showing up on this. The sun kind of left us, so we lost a lot of our good lighting. But anyway, we are ready to start putting on our first coat here. I do want to say this handle guy here, awesome, love it. Definitely a big fan here. So again, we're going to start with just the edges, then we'll do the main part, and we'll see how it comes out. Okay, so this guy's probably my best one. That was the last one, just working on getting my spray pattern down. Again, I'm obviously, if it's not apparent, I'm an amateur at this, but just doing my best. We'll get this figured out pretty. My biggest concern isn't the paint quality finish. It's more matching it to the truck, because I have done this a few times and I am able to get a decent result. So it's more just matching the truck. We'll see how it does. The mirror caps, when I did them, they didn't need to really be crazy close. I thought they were pretty close, but they didn't need to be perfect, because they weren't right against other white. This will be. So started getting these ready here. These guys need one more coat of adhesion promoter, then they're ready for paint too. So I will probably cut back in after they have their first coat, and they are probably will be done by then. So anyway guys, I will see you in a little bit. Okay, so we have severe thunderstorm warnings in the area, so I did have to close the garage door. We lost all of our sun, so I kind of lost my nice little stage here, but we got everything inside. We got the door semi-open still to kind of give some ventilation, and I just took a little bit of a break to let this completely air out. And I have been wearing a mask. Sorry if that light just got in your eyes. I have been wearing a mask, trying to be safe. But let's take a look at the door handles here. Pretty happy. I don't know how well this is all showing up. These will probably get one more coat of white. It does look to be pretty good though. I'm pretty happy, but there is a few spots on here I'm not completely satisfied with. So these guys are going to get one more coat. Coming over here, these will probably do 2 more coats each on these. The other guys were ahead. These door handles are, like the back plates, are definitely a bit of a challenge to get in there. Now a lot of this you won't see, some of it you will, like that corner right there that has 0 coverage on it. And I'm looking at it pretty much the same on all of them. Like you'll actually see that just a little bit, I think. So I want to make sure that's covered up good. So this might actually get a few more coats than I normally would do, just to try to really cover up some of those areas. This last one, I was finally starting to get some decent coverage in some of these areas. You can see this corner's a little bit better, but definitely a little on the hard side to get full coverage in all the little spots here. But coming along pretty nicely. This one, I may have gotten the wrong paint code. I was just doing one, like I have an extra one. For instance, I dropped one and it cracked. And so I have an extra one that I can't do anything with, and I was like, for as cheap as those cans of paints are, I'll grab one of Josh's color and just kind of see how it turns out. Darker colors, definitely a little easier to get full coverage sooner, or at least it looked like it has full coverage sooner. And just using the same Dupli-Color, That's always kind of what I've gone to, and it's worked well. And they have pretty decent nozzle, all in all. These handle things make painting so much easier. It gives you a ton of control. You know, it just makes it a little bit nicer. Yeah, I think I paid, like, for 2 of these guys, I think I paid, like, I forget, I want to say like $8 or something, nothing crazy. But they're definitely really nice and worth it if you're trying to make something really look professionally done, which is the goal here. Obviously we're doing it on the cheap, but it is the goal as a professional looking finished product, so we'll see how that turns out. As for clear coat, this is what we're using. It is a 2-part clear. So on the bottom it's got a little thing to punch in there. You take this top piece, this red thing, and you jam it in there and shake it up. So first we're going to shake for 2 minutes without it in. That is the instructions. Pop that in there, shake for another 2 minutes, and then we're good to go. You can get this stuff on Amazon. That's where I've purchased it the second time I've bought it. It does expire in 3 years from purchase date. I am about 2 days away from that on this. I bought this a while ago with the intent to redo these mirrors, and just never got around to it. So anyway, we're getting around to it now. So I'm gonna get this stuff ready. I will probably film putting clear coat on something, and then again we'll catch up at the end of after everything's done being cleared. Okay, YouTube, so today did not go quite as planned with the storm, and we ended up with a lot more bugs than I anticipated, but things did go well. I didn't have quite enough clear. I wanted to do 3 coats on everything, to give me plenty of clear to be able to polish up and maybe do a little sanding to get rid of some orange peel. Again, this was a very budget friendly thing, so it's not like we had a nice spray gun. We had a relatively expensive can of 2K clear, and the base coat went on fine on all of them. So we had one can of 2K clear. I'll definitely get a link down below for that, probably an affiliate link if anyone's looking to do this. And let me grab a can. And this is the other stuff I use just from Advanced Auto. Works great. I've used it before. And the same for this one I'm going to show you. I used one attempted to kind of get close to Josh's color just to see what his truck would look like with paint matched tow mirrors, because I was doing it anyway. The problem is, by the time I got to hit this mirror, I was running out of clear, and actually my mirrors and my backing plates for the doors only got 2 coats each. It does seem to spray a relatively thick coat on, so I think we're good. But here is Josh's color. I was actually, I don't know how well this is showing up, but I was super excited to see this. This looks pretty sharp. Now in the corners here we were getting runs because the can was starting to not spray as nice. Along here's a real bad one. And some of that I'll be able to kind of sand out a little bit. But again, this was just for fun. This wasn't a serious endeavor here. This was, I'm doing it, I might as well. And if I could do today over again, I would definitely have 1, started earlier in the day, and 2, I would have made sure I had 2 cans of clear to use and be able to give everything 3 to 4 coats instead of 2 to 3 like things got. But this turned out great, and there's definitely some orange peel in it, but truthfully it looks really good, and it doesn't look much worse than a factory orange peel. And here are my door handles. I don't know if that's quite, you might need to come over here to get a better look. These came out really good. As far as orange peel, I will say this, it's all in learning to spray, and I've done this a few times and I'm getting a little bit better, but definitely being able to spray and be confident in what you're doing, kind of starting to learn the limits of what I can and can't do with these cans to get a pretty good finish that should require very minimal polishing afterwards to match a factory paint job. Again, laid on pretty good. Now this isn't perfect. There's, bugs flew in this. That's there's a big bug. Really upsets me about that one. And then here are these guys. These are a bugger to paint. I want to say that. These are not fun, but I do think I got pretty good coverage in the areas that are light are going to be hidden, so you won't really be able to tell that they're as light as they are. Like this one down on the bottom inside, there's a little light on white. Had I noticed that at the time, I probably would have threw another coat on there. This one's looking pretty good. Again, really happy. This is just a cheap way to do this. You know, a couple cans of paint. For instance, for all of the white stuff, I used 3 of those cans I showed you. Not completely all the time, like I got every last little bit out of them, but when they started spraying weird, I was done with them. And the last can I used still had, I would have had enough to touch that up. So 2 tow mirrors, 4 backing plates, and 4 door handles, all checked out just fine with 3. If you're gonna do the same amount, I would get 3 of them. And again, a lot of it comes down to spraying, getting better with spraying, not wasting. The better you are at it, you get more on your product here and less waste. So it's a learning curve. For those of you looking for like really super professional end results, I would probably get a few junk pieces of plastic of some type that's similar in texture to what you're going to be painting, and I'd probably goof around with them a few times. I would, you know, if you're looking for the utmost professional look, because having done those tow mirrors before, I can tell you these look worlds better than the last time, and I still didn't get all the clear on them I wanted to. But even this one for Josh's, the parts where I could still get it to spray good, it looks really, really good, and is going to require very minimal effort for me to make this look just a little bit nicer once the clear coat hardens. I'm not 100% sure what I will sand with. I can probably just go right to like a 1500 or 2000 grit wet sand, and after that I can probably hit up some polish. I do have like up to 5000 grit sandpaper. So last little tip, these handles are a huge help, guys. There will be a link for them down in the description as well. They're cheap, they're reusable. I highly recommend them. They made this project so much easier for me to do because I had that, and it helps with, as you're spraying and stuff, you're gripping it with your whole hand, not just your thumb, and it just made it so much nicer. It gives you a lot more control over what you're doing. So if you're looking for something to really look good on your truck, white's a forgiving color. This is not so forgiving here. It's funny, I had more fun painting this piece, yet it was harder to do. But as you guys can see, it looks pretty good. It's not perfect. Looks like a hair got in there. And on the sides, the clear wasn't doing quite as well. This will probably be overall a 3-part series here from doing this, from painting everything. That's going to be one video. I'm going to do a video of anything I do post paint. If there's any polishing I do to stuff, I'm going to do a video on that. And then the actual installation, well, reassembly and installation of everything, guys. So hopefully all that should be done this week, and then I can get back. I need to finish doing a HID headlight review because I didn't get around to doing that yet. Huge shout out to Diode Dynamics. Also, we have a tune review coming. Haven't done one of them in a while. You guys tend to like those videos on TSD's SPD tune that we're currently running in the truck. So I finally have everything working well that I can do a review on that. And then we also have some products that Auxbeam sent out. Neo, I believe is how it's pronounced, LEDs. I got to get through all of those things. So just very behind on stuff, guys. But since my door handle broke, I really needed to get these fixed. So this was kind of a good day to set out and take care of that. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. I know this isn't what everyone comes to the channel for paint match accessories and stuff, but Some of you guys are definitely going to enjoy this and want to do it on your trucks. But don't worry, we will be getting to some performance stuff soon. Next month, we are hitting up the dyno. And also, I believe there's dirt drags next month we're going to hit up too. So we have some cool stuff planned there. Anyway, guys, drop those comments down below. I'll see you in the next upload.